Joining us right now to talk about what may be happening is Roger Altman. He is Evercore senior chairman and founder. He's also former deputy Treasury secretary under President Bill Clinton. And Roger, thank you for being here this morning.
Good morning, Becky.
There's a lot of stories that are out there kind of swirling about what happens. But as somebody who has been through campaigns time and time again and who sees what's happening here with the donor class as well, how would you suggest the party move forward from this point?
Well, this is a tough situation. And in many respects, I think it's historically unprecedented. At the moment, I don't see any indication, and I'm not, Becky, in the councils of war, but I don't see any indication that President Biden is prepared to step aside. And I think there's an argument for his taking this a bit slow. By that, I mean taking his time and trying, perhaps through a news conference, to restore confidence and demonstrate, if he can, that the Biden we saw on Thursday night is not the day in, day out Joe Biden. I don't have any idea if he will do that or not, but I think that's something that would be logical to try to do and do so this week.
Yeah, I'm with you in that we have not seen this in the past. People can say that there have been bad debates before, that, you know, Ronald Reagan faltered in his first debate with Mondale. I went back and watched that over the weekend. That was October 7th of 1984. It was nothing like what we saw here. These are questions raised, not even about age, but about mental competence. And the idea that we have not seen a press conference from Biden this entire year, and even well into last year, we hadn't seen one. Just the idea of, even if he were to come out with a news conference, as you suggest, I don't know that that would assuage the concerns that there are about whether he can do this job on a daily basis.
Hard to tell, but if he did hold a press conference, and if he did conduct himself well, and I've seen him conduct himself well in recent weeks in private, I think that would allay a lot of concerns. Whether it would allay them all, I don't know, but it would be a wise thing to try, if in my view.